Greetings, precious, divine, spiritual being that you are. Take a nice deep breath. Breathe right into your heart. Yeah. Breathe again. Most people are oxygen deprived. Come on. In your water, good air, good elements. Harmonizing the body, harmonizing yourself. My topic. Change the cause and you change the effect. Okay. Now, what tends to happen for people is they're reacting to the effects they're causing. So then the effects they're causing are now the cause of the effects and affects happening to the person. An example would be if the artist made the painting and then the artist lets the painting control the rest of their life. But if you don't like and he doesn't like the painting, so his whole life is about how horrible the painting is, but he made the painting, but the painting somehow is running his life. If you don't like the painting, get rid of it or make another one, or don't do it, okay? What people do is they put the cart before the horse. For instance, if people want a job, want to go to work, they'll go check the classified ads or something. Well, okay, that's a way, and you're doing something, but what is your mission, your purpose? What is it that's in your heart's desire? What's your propensities? What do you like? What would you like to be doing? What would you want to be learning about? What are you expert in? What is, so when if you were going to look for a house to live in, you would notice what are the needs that you have in the house. That's even when people build houses. There's so much waste that goes on with houses that, collect dirt and all they're just unneeded effort because it's not actually serving that person and in the most natural way possible, you might say, for the least amount of money. So it's an economy, but what you're doing is determining before you actually go out to build your house or before you actually go out to do anything, what is it that you're looking for? What do you want? In fact, I had a retreat the other day for one person a couple of weeks ago, and it was so successful. Well, they always are, but so wonderful because when she came, she didn't really, she knew she wanted to move out of a certain place, but didn't know where she wanted to go and didn't really know what she wanted to do for her work and all that kind of a thing. And she had, different concepts because that's what you do. You come in with your stuff and we're going to sort through that and we're going to dig out all the stuff that's working against you. And so it was within less than 2 weeks after she left. She knows where she's going. She's ready to go. She's moving now. She's got a session how it's going to be. And before, she was just full of fear. And it's because it doesn't take time. You're not in the time game to change the effects, what's going on in your life. You change the cause. That means change your consciousness, and the effects are going to immediately change. There's so much I like about the Vedas, the ancient teachings coming from India, but actually Veda means knowledge and great wisdom. And it was that told more about, in a sense, of where you might say the mind's a problem, but like in the Vedas, you go into lots of deep research work, which is wonderful, so that you actually will come to your own realizations, just as the ancients did, and they give us their knowledge as clues, not for us to memorize, but for us to test. And does it work? How does it work? Well, the whole thing about cause and effect. Cause and effect does not happen in the spiritual world. And here, for every cause, the effect is in the cause, and the cause is in the effect. Because that's how it works. This is the outer picturing on the screen. you might say. Now, the outer, if it's a holographic picture, actually has to have a solid form of which it's made a hologram of. It has to have something else. So that is the spiritual domain. That is our eternal home. That's who we are. And we've taken a diversion, in a sense, for some reason or another, and found ourselves in a virtual reality where we believe we are born and die. And when we lose our stuff, and then we have to be successful in the world and make something of ourselves and achieve something and all of this kind of stuff. It's just all of the story to keep this three-dimensional reality and any dimensional reality operating, because they operate through the mind. It's all in the mind. It's projected that way. But the real world, the world that of you, who you are, and we are, and I am, is... this is but a perverted shadow reflection, but so why nature is so important, it has the integrity and the closest thing, because the elements are here, the earth, the oxygen, the fire, the ether, the water, the 5 elements there, and the ether being all pervasive, which is our, in a sense, consciousness as it expresses through our perception that has been perverted through this so-called mind virus that sets up this kind of a system. And when you own the cause, first of all, when you look to see around you, you might say, well, I don't like where I'm at. You've got to acknowledge yourself for being a manifester. If you don't like it, then stop manifesting it. And what happens is people get so caught up in that and they don't know anything else. They then are trying to change the effects all the time so that it will change the cause, or so that it will bring them what they really want. But what they really want doesn't come from an effect. It doesn't come from anyone or anything on the outside. It always comes from me. And I was working with someone the other day, and it was so wonderful to see how fast and how smart this person is and everything, working on relationship, and was just devastated when we began, and then could basically perceive the real great opportunity. It wasn't the end of the relationship. It was really the beginning of an expanded and magnificent and glorious relationship, plus in her work. And then started looking at how her work then shifted to be, in a sense, her ministry, whatever. So it's where you do your work, which is the empowering and enriching of other living entities, animals and human, okay? And because that's where the real success is, that's where the real happiness, that's where the real joy, that's where the real pleasure is, that's where the real prosperity is. So if you don't like the effects, first of all, you better like it, because those are your effects. Even though it's been programmed in there by educational systems, by mind programming, hypnotic trances, media, blah, 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 that makes you have all these thoughts that you believe and think are true and real and absolute, and that's the way it is, when I have a painting in my house, actually a white canvas on the wall with nothing on it. And to me, because that's you without all of your stuff, your vision, what do you want in it? And then if you want the real, from which the artificial is taken from, that's what you're part of and who you are. And so bring everything back into cause, and in some way, even though we've been forced or programmed or hypnotized, however it may be, to accept a virtual reality with birth and death and all of the wars and conflict and sickness and disease. This is not us. This is not real. That's not who we are. It's ridiculous. And ridiculous means ridicule us. Even our words are used to ridicule us and to limit us, and to basically for people to commit suicide, hate themselves so much in life and who we are. But we are life. This is what we got to get. This is the work. This is the real work. This is the greatest work in the world. And I invite you to work with me. Come on. And I want my people out there that we're working together here and empowering each other. And for counseling, and I do that on a love offering basis. So email me, Terry@terrycolewhitaker.com. It's here on the screen, and then also come from. And I work with you then also on mentoring for your career and finding out what it is and life's work and prospering from it and getting your message out there, whoever that may be. And also and the teaching for those that want to be spiritual mind healers, not even mind healers, but spiritual healers, facilitators, teachers, ministers, however it may be. I've trained over like 40 people to be and ordained them as ministers doing great work in the world. And so anyway, but a lot of them, the problem is they're still stuck where they used to be, or they think that's it. And they didn't get, I left that. I moved on because it was part of it, but it wasn't the real big deal. And you have to have such a commitment to yourself. And that's where it's at, that's what real love is. Love, the feeling of it and the experience of it is when we are loving our beloved, the self of every self, super self, and expressing that in everything we do. And it's the giving of that where we are the love. And it is the giving, the generosity, and giving to what is giving to us, you see, financially and sharing with others and such. All of that works for us. But a miser is always so afraid they're going to lose what they've got. They're still got to hold on to the little bit. And, these people live in constant fear. So take back those your powers and invest in your own consciousness. So if you want your effects to change, instead of resisting them and hating them and being disappointed and then falling into emotional depression because of what's going on, empower yourself. Hey, it's my manifestation. Okay, you've agreed to it somewhere and somehow. Don't agree anymore, and you are the cause. So what do you need to change? You need to change your consciousness. And that means to let go. You don't have to seek the divine. It just needs to be revealed to you of who you are and such. And using this teaching to get you to do that. And that will facilitate your eternal existence as the freedom, loving being already. Divine, precious, spirit, soul, and person you will always be and are. Hugs.